The second type of filter we're going to talk about is a dry filter, and there's a lot of different dry filter elements. This is a dry element. This would be a dry element. These are all dry elements. The advantage of a dry element is they're easy to handle. You take one of these and you're looking at it, you're like, yeah, it's dirty, but you don't really get oil and stuff on your hands, and so they're pretty simple and easy to handle. They mount in any position. I can mount this air filter on the side. I can measure this direction. I can install it from the bottom. It doesn't matter how I install it as long as it's sealed and air can get to it. And so it gives you access in a lot of different directions. And the other advantage is they're not really that expensive. Most paper air filters are pretty reasonably costly. They don't cost you that much money. And so if you damage it, it's not worth fudging on it. You want to just replace it. Dirt bikes tend to do it, but what you'll find when you get in dirt, and that's just kind of jumping ahead, most dirt bikes use an oil foam. And what they do on dirt bikes, since there's so much dirt, is instead of using just a little bit of oil on it, what they use is something like this. This is a racing filter fluid, and it's super sticky. You put this on your hand, and it's like, you're tacky. And what happens is it can hold a lot more dirt, and the oil in the foam is what holds the dirt from getting through the foam. So that's what this is a really sticky. You see this on any ATVs, dirt bikes, that kind of. They actually use a better quality oil rather than just engine oil. And so that's what this, and that's down here. Dry filters, I'm going to pass around some examples of dry filters. This particular filter goes on a Toro, and what happened is it had a canister that looked like this. Canister sits in this position. The air filter comes out. There's a pre-cleaner. There's a wing nut on top of the pre-cleaner. It allows you to get to the plastic bowl that's on the bottom. Well, that got damaged. And water, since it was dished down, water would pool by that nut, and it leaked around the nut, ran down the bolt, right down through the center, and would fill up the bottom of this canister all the way up, and then it would fill the whole cavity up and sit there all winter and rusted it out. And once this paper gets wet, it becomes very brittle. If you look at it, the paper is actually cracked all over the place. The school has a Toro 223D. We just brought it in here last week because we were fixing a fuel-related problem, and the air filter was in the way, so I took the bottom of the air filter off, and I happened to be laying underneath the machine, and I took a bath because it had the exact same problem that this one did. And they had steam cleaned it. In the process of steam cleaning it, they got water in here, and it filled the air filter. If you have that problem, what you have to do is take this bowl, and you drill a little teeny hole in the bottom. The water can drain out. And then put a rubber washer on the nut so that you seal the problem at the top. And if you do get water, it runs out before it fills up and gets onto the paper. And so if you actually drill a little hole, it's not going to ingest a whole lot of dirt. It's on the dirty side, so it's not getting into your engine. That's kind of how you can fix the problem. I'm going to go ahead and pass these around. Every one of these filters has some sort of problem with it. And if you look at them on the rubber piece. Look where it seals. Look at the paper. Some of them, when they took it out of the package, they took a knife and they cut them out of the package, and they actually cut the paper. Or the person that installed it actually installed it incorrectly. So I'm going to pass a few of these around. This one here actually is saturated in oil. The person that put it on, they wrapped this with a foam, and the foam had way too much fuel or way too much oil in it, and it oversaturated the paper with oil, and it restricted the amount of air going through it.